And the primary beneficiaries of the feminist movement were white women who saw equal pay and opportunities in the workforce they had they had been previously. I wouldn't say they were excluded from. The men didn't want them in the workplace because of what it does to a woman's nature. They didn't want that. They didn't want that overly masculine, out of control, hard and stressed out, woman in their home. And he didn't want that kind of woman raising his children. And unlike the black women's white female counterparts, black women were already active participants in the workforce. Black women were already in the workforce when white women weren't. And according to the U.S. Department of Labor, by the middle of the 20th century, the majority of black women were employed, primarily in domestic roles and service roles, but they were employed. White women were not employed at a large number. Black women were. So this historical participation highlights that the feminist movement and their goals did not align with the reality of black women. Black women didn't have no problems being able to go out and generate an income if they wanted to. White women did because their white men didn't want them to. They didn't want them in that high stress, high paced environment. They wanted them relaxed, calm, and at home, and helping usher in the next generation of whitey. But black women were in the workforce. Black women were in the workforce. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, they were in the workforce. And this is also with the combined report from the National Women's Law Center. Black women were in the workforce at a 60% clip. 60% of black women were employed during the height of the feminist movement. Black women were already making money. White women weren't making anything because they were at home. The data suggests that the issues of work, of being able to go into the workplace and have employment and equality that was central to the feminist movement, those were not black women issues. Black women didn't have those issues. Black women were already working. Black women were already in the workforce at a 60% rate and earning a livable wage that contributed to the home. While the majority of white women sat their asses at home and was pissed off because their fucking allowance from their husbands wasn't big enough. These white women were mad because their allowance wasn't big enough. And they wanted a bigger allowance from their husband. So they started rebelling, and then they got one of the most organized groups in the country, which were blacks and black women from the civil rights movement, to help them extract more financial resources from their white man. And you black women, instead of telling these white bitches, look, that ain't none of my goddamn business what's going on between you and your white man, you let these white women play in your face.